Good morning, guys. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of G-Boot 2786. Gavin Reshaw presents. Hope everyone is having a good morning, a blessed Saturday. It's a little early here in New Orleans, about 8 o'clock. Just getting up. I wanted to do this video yesterday, but was just busy, tired, a lot going on. And you guys haven't seen me a lot lately, but I've just been busy working, trying to keep the lights on. So that's what every man's got to do, huh? I hope everybody's doing great. I wanted to do this video right quick. Uh, Obviously, if you've been not been paying attention to social media, if you haven't watched, I don't think it's too much in the news, but news now is on the internet. People are not watching it. I don't believe on cable television anymore because what can you believe? But obviously, you can't believe anything on social media either sometimes. Uh, News moves at the sound of light. But I titled this video Two Sides of the Code, Kobe and Jeremiah. Now, Jeremiah, I'm referring to little Jeremiah, who was the young black boy that was harassed by he and his sister and his mother were harassed by that ugly looking thing, Cornerstone Carolyn. I think her name is Klein. Uh, yeah, is my video recording? Oh, it paused. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, Teresa Sue Klein, aka Chewbacca the Wookiee, aka Cornerstone Carolyn. She was the woman in the video that has gone viral that falsely accused this young man of sexual assault and sexual misconduct, which you saw from the video was clearly did not happen. Yet, had the police actually been out there and had been called, would it have shocked me that they would have came out and arrested this boy or possibly did something worse in our day and time? No, I doubt it. Um, I you know what I mean. I think that yeah, it's very possible they could have done something like that. Would they have given them the benefit of the doubt? I, just just the world we live in now, you just don't know. And being a black person, you have to be extra careful. Now, two sides of the code. I'm referring to they interviewed Jeremiah, I believe, sometime a couple of days ago. And you notice, guys, and Tariq Nasheed has talked about this. I know that Phil from the Advice Show has talked about this. They always, and a few others, they always want to interview a black person when they are attacked by the police, when they are assaulted, when they are a family member whose child or relative has been murdered by a white supremacist, a racist, or a cop. Well, they can be all in the same. And what they'll do is they'll put a microphone on their face, and the first thing you'll see is, "Oh Lords, I forgives them. Oh yes, I'm sad, but I forgives you," and all this other shit. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a human being myself, and I make mistakes. So, I do believe in forgiveness. However, when they do it, when they put that microphone in front of you, they're doing it so that they can invoke sympathy and forget basically what that white supremacist did to this black person. They're not doing it out of the kindness of their hearts when they say we're sorry. Because if they did, then they would have actually done something to rectify the situation from the beginning. But the media always does that. So shout out to the young brother, the little man, Jeremiah. I wish I knew his last name. They didn't put it obviously out there, but anybody that knows him, shout out to him. Maybe we can all set up a scholarship fund for the young man and for the young boy and his sister, and do something because I was real proud of him and how he stayed on code. Um, and that's the key with black people with media. You gotta stay on code when these people put a microphone in your face. That dude Stevante Clark, who was acting a fool after his brother was shot. I remember him jumping on. It seemed he was just trying to get attention, and then he got busted, I believe, for trying to hustle money and defrauding people. And a lot of people, he just was too much to handle. And it was clear, he was a fool. So something was wrong with him. Uh, and then you have Kobe Bryant. That's another issue. And I put Kobe's name in here when I talked about code. I remember uh, Kobe Bryant. A few years ago, Jim Brown, the great Jim Brown, was on Arsenio Hall show, his reboot show, and he talked about how if he had a meeting with all of the black athletes nowadays, he said Kobe Bryant would not be a part of that, coalition because Jim Brown uh, was there with Muhammad Ali and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Russell and a few other athletes during the time of civil rights, and they all backed Muhammad Ali when he refused to be drafted into the United States Army. They were there to support him. Now, a lot of people may not like Jim Brown today because he uh, actually has been open or talking with Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, or 45 as we call him. I don't really have a. And let me just say this. There's no problem with meeting with the president. Now, granted that nobody likes him, the things that he's done and said, you know, yeah, what's going on, B1 for life? I'm sorry, because I'm reading the comments, but then popping up here. Yeah, he didn't accept the apology. He told to kick rocks. Yeah, you know, but doesn't. Yeah. So getting back to what I was saying with Jim Brown, Jim Brown actually has had gangsters, thugs, murderers in his house to squash beef between rival gangs. He has done work in the community. So when he speaks, at least I give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. And there's nothing wrong with, uh, you know, going to meet the president if the meeting will be productive. Uh, and I know Kanye can act a fool a lot, and he's not really the most coherent person or a person that you can actually understand what the hell he's saying half the time. He's basically the way he states his words, he's very inarticulate, but he can be very deep at times. And if his words and the fact that he has the ear of the so-called most powerful man in this country, if he can actually get him to do prison reform, great. I actually did see where uh, Trump stated that he wasn't following Jeff Sessions' remarks on prison reform. He's not going to follow what he says. And Jeff Sessions, we know, he's always been suspected of being a big-time white supremacist. Uh, the things that he's done. Coretta Scott King has not endorsed him, but of course Donald Trump picked him as his AG. But you know, that's neither here nor there. I'm not getting off topic, but basically to get with Jim Brown, go back to Jim Brown and Kobe Bryant. I remember Jim Brown stating Kobe would not be in that conversation, and then Stephen A. Smith defending Kobe Bryant because Kobe Bryant made comments, I believe, about the Trayvon Martin situation, how he didn't believe it was race, or how, he's made statements about. Basically, he has not been a person that will make statements on race in affirmative for black people. He's basically the closest to Michael Jordan because just like Michael Jordan didn't speak out against racial and social issues and ills like a Muhammad Ali did. And everybody's looking for the next Muhammad Ali. People think LeBron James is the next Ali. I don't believe that. Although LeBron has done some great things in his community and, he has spoken out from time to time. But I remember when he wore the I Can't Breathe shirt, but, he said, I just wanted to be respectful to the family. But come on, man, you got to call it for what it is. You want to call these white devils out when they do some shit. Now, Kobe, this is part of why I titled it Kobe and Jeremiah, Two Sides of the Code. Kobe didn't stay on code, but little brother Jeremiah did. And it's a shame when a child can actually do things better or has more sense in the world than even adults can. And even in the Bible, you read In the book of Isaiah, they say a child shall lead them. I don't remember the whole passage, but I remember that particular verse about children. And even Jesus says to St. Peter, until you have the heart and mind of a child, you shall not enter the kingdom of heaven. I'm just paraphrasing. So we have a child that's staying on coke. Now with Kobe, ever since this Bill Cosby situation, they're going after every black male entertainer. As what Eddie Griffin said, no black man who's in the entertainment industry dies clean. You don't leave this business with a bill of health, a clean bill of health, or a sterling record. You know, Kobe Bryant's case, and I remember this was 15 years ago. He, just like Cosby, settled with this woman. They didn't bring criminal charges because she refused to cooperate with the police, and on top of that, she refused to testify as well. But on top of that, they did a test of her, and they found about 4 or 5 different semen samples. Obviously did a rape kit, and uh, they found Kobe's DNA, but they also found 4 other men's DNA. So it seemed like she had a train being run on her. And she didn't name anybody else for raping her. She just said Kobe raped her or assaulted her. But, when you're a star athlete like Kobe Bryant, you know that, and you got money like that, you're in a different club than what you and I are in, because girls will throw themselves at these rich athletes. And we know black males, in particular, white women, will throw themselves at these men because they have money, they have access to, you know, power, to different celebrities, to different business owners and businesses and so forth. And at that time, Kobe Bryant was very huge in 2003. I actually remember the press conference did with his wife, because my grandfather actually passed away around that time. He was in the hospital that week, that Saturday when Kobe Bryant spoke. So I actually remember that very vividly. But men have to be very careful today. And, the moral to the story, please be faithful to your wife. Be faithful to her, because you never know, you mess with some of these women, you bring them in your lives, years later, it's going to cause you a world of pain, whether you're guilty or not. Even you could be very innocent. Like Cosby, I believe Cosby is innocent of those charges. I don't believe he assaulted this woman based off the evidence that I've seen. And there's been a lot of research into her story, into half of these women's stories, like what Tariq Nasheed broke down. Uh, with Margot, the one lady, Sean Brown, her daughter was Autumn Jackson. Remember 20 years ago, around the time Bill Cosby's son Enos was killed, this woman was trying to extort money from Cosby. And she didn't mention anything about being raped then. I'm talking about her mother. Now the mother's coming up 20 years later saying, oh, I was raped by Bill Cosby too. I was drugged by Bill Cosby. Get the fuck out of here. They just lumped these women in and they ran with it. And we as black people don't catch this shit. We just let it go on over and over and over again. And we don't stay on code. So, two sides to the code. Jeremiah and Kobe. And Kobe now is learning his lesson because he was dropped from, I believe, the animation festival that they had, because remember, he won an Oscar on basketball that he produced. He actually was this year. And these feminazis, they protested. And they protested and wrote a petition telling the board at the Animation Film Festival this year that Kobe not be invited for his rape charge. And sure enough, they dropped him. And he's going to be the next one to fall. Trust me. There's a list. There's a list that they're going through. Like I said in my last video, if you think Harvey Weinstein's going to jail, you had better think again. They just dismissed one charge on Harvey Weinstein, and in fact, there may be another. It might be a full-out dismissal because the prosecutors are stating there was exculpatory evidence that that was favorable to the defense. There's stuff that they're learning now. Maybe this charges shouldn't have been brought because he had emails that showed he had a consensual relationship with one of the women. So that's why the judge dropped that particular charge. Now the prosecutor's saying, "Oh, we feel confident it's going through," but you know, a defense attorney's job, he's gonna file another motion to dismiss. Don't be surprised. Anyway, guys, let me get out of here. My nose is congested. But you guys enjoy your Saturday. I just wanted to talk about that. So you guys have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe out there. Shout out to everyone that's in the chat room. Peace.